detail-oriented guy on your pro team? Like the guy who's just like, you're like, really, that makes zero difference, but they're like, it must be this way.
I don't know. I think they're all pretty easy to work with. I
was just talking about detail. Like, is there anybody that's
politically correct deal? I'll say this, that we're working with a new guy that is very, very attention to detail type of guy. I'll flash this by the screen one time.
Hold on, let me get the big screen going. You gotta do it one more time. I didn't have the big screen up. All right, 3.
So this is just a prototype, but
3,
I'll just go
2.
like that.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's very attention to detail.
Oh, I was gonna say, are you gonna get in trouble for showing that? But you're the only guy who would get in trouble.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
if you're listening on iTunes,
the detail guy that I've got right now, and he's not a pain in the neck. He just wants it to be right. And I don't mind it at all. I really don't. I like it, especially on a really technical bait like that. It's got to be right. And which right now he's got 15 shells, and he's actually painting them right now. So
when is that gonna?
I cast. So
it's probably been a while since you've been that excited about a bait.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's pretty freaking awesome.
Up next in the Spro booth, something I'm really excited about. I'm just bubbly with excitement. If you know the custom swim bait world, this is a name that needs no introduction, KGB Swimbaits. And we're talking about a collaboration between Spro and all their great swim bait history, and Kevin from KGB. Kevin, thank you for joining us.
Hey, thank you.
We're really excited about bringing really the infamous Chad Shad to the market at large in the brand new Spro KGB collaboration in the Chad Shad 180. It's a glide bait. Tell us all about this. We're really excited.
So this all started with a phone call about 1.5 years ago. I was looking for hooks. I couldn't get hooks, and I can't make baits without hooks. I can't even tune them. So I ended up calling Gamakatsu, which is, a lot of people know, is a sister company with Spro. Called them, got on the phone, made the order, got all the way down to the email, and said, hey, KGB Swimbaits, gave him my email. And, wait, Kevin, I know who you are. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, do you want to do a collaboration? Immediately I said no. I was bombarded with painters wanting to do collaborations, and I was just overwhelmed, so I said no. And I did a couple circles around the shop, and I realized what he just offered. Well, long story short, we decided to pair up and introduce the Chad Shad 180. That's how this all came to light. And for me, it's a great partnership because I can still do the handcrafted resin baits that I've always done. This is just going to be an addition to help get that demand met.
So you talked about the demand. I have been one of the people that's been trying to get in on your drops on the Chad Shad, on the crappie, and more often than not, I strike out. Mm-hmm. So I'm really excited to have a bait that looks great, performs just like the Chad Shad, right?
Yes.
And I can get it at Tackle Warehouse.
Should be able to get it at Tackle Warehouse or really anywhere that Spro is selling baits.
But Tackle Warehouse, right? Yep. Come on, Kevin. All right, so we have some great new colors, and let's just talk about the construction of the bait here, because as you mentioned, the baits that you produce in your shop are resin, right? And so you've had to work really closely to match the weight, match the action. Tell us about how this bait performs to the Chad Shad that maybe custom swim bait aficionados are familiar with.
Right. So one of the things that we were able to do that I'm not able to do is we're able to add swivel hook hangers. And my resin ones, I don't have a way that I'm confident in anchoring a swivel hook hanger into the resin baits. So with these, that was one of the #1 things. Another thing, when started this process, I said I want them to feel like a resin bait. I want you to be able to hold both baits and not tell them apart, both on feel and weight. The resin baits are 2.44 ounces and these are 2.4 ounces. So you're talking less than 1/10 of an ounce difference on these baits, which is really pretty incredible. And to get the same action, the slow sink, super slow sink, the bait will drop down, bounce on its front hook, lift back up, and then settle down on its hook. So it's about an RF3, which is 3 feet every 10 seconds. That's really the sweet spot for glide baits, in my opinion. They're getting super long glide outs because these have been CAD scanned and perfected on left and right matches. We're getting longer glide outs than I can with my resin ones. My resin ones are handmade, and no matter how perfect I get with them, there's still going to be a difference on left and right as to where these are identical. So we're getting really good long glide outs, really good chops and cuts. You can get the bait to dive down or rise up. It's all in the action of the reel. If you use your reel and you have it paired up with the right rod, then you're going to do really well with this bait. It's going to be able to, it's the puppet and you're the puppet master.
A really interesting way to put that.
Yeah.
For somebody who's maybe going to pick up one of these Spro, KGB, Chad Shads and try glide bait for the first time, tell us a little bit about line pound test and just maybe how to work this thing to get your first bite and put it in the boat.
Well, that's a beautiful thing on these baits, and that's what I've worked really hard to with all my baits, is I want something that you can just go out there and close your eyes and wind it in and still have a really good chance to catch a fish. And these, you can do that. You don't have to put any effort into it. They're going to swim on their own and they're going to perform on their own and still give you an action that's going to dominate and catch fish. So for like a beginner getting into it, go out, if anything over, anything over that 2 ounce mark, if you're a beginner, start off with nothing less than 20 pound line. I wouldn't go up to 30 or 25, 20 pound is a good average line to start with. You're going to have the strength mono, so you have enough stretch for the beginner that you're not going to snap these off. A lot of guys, they think straight braid right off the bat. Really, that you're playing a risky game. At least in my neck of the woods, straight braid is for Alabama rigs. They have flex built in. These don't have flex built in. You're going to snap them off. So go out there with mono, get some stretch, and go out there and just start playing with it and learn the bait.
Very cool. Some beautiful colors that you guys have come up with that are offered here. 5 or 6 colors?
We've got 5 colors.
5 colors.
Something to match each part of the nation.
Awesome cosmetics. The eyes are really unique, right? It's the same eye from your...
It's a very similar eye. We have a bigger pupil than what's in the eyes that I use on my resin baits. We had these eyes made, and it's a bigger pupil. They seem to track you when you roll the bait, so it's a lot of fun.
Got it. And then that signature brush style tail.
Yep.
Very cool. Any tips on storing this bait? Do you need to make sure it's flat?
It is a good idea to make sure they're flat. If you store them in, most guys, at least myself, I store them in a Plano tackle box, the deep ones. Put the nose towards the edge of the wall, and put another bait facing the other way, and that way the tails are in the center of the box, and the tails never have a chance to hit the wall. So whether it's any other bait, you get a second Chad Shad, they pair up really nicely in your tackle box, or any other bait really, something to keep that tail from sliding and hitting the box, and you're good to go.
Very cool. So that's all great information. We're really excited to get these brand new Spro KGB collaboration Chad Shads in. They're available for pre-order now at tacklewarehouse.com. Kevin, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Check them out. Get yours soon.
We got one little crankbait, and we've got a big giant swim bait on the go. So, both ends of the spectrum. Everybody knows the glide bait thing, that's been taken over. Seen a lot of brands coming up with it, a lot of different types coming up with it, but Spro's came out with KGB Chad Shad, which is, if you know anything about custom garage kind of swim baits, that's like the gold standard in swim baits. And Spro came out with one, partnered with KGB. So, pretty cool. 180 millimeters long, and then you've got a little bitty tiny crankbait. So, kind of the best of every world over here today.
One of the new, this is the KGB Chad Shad 180. So, Jeff, you're a big swim bait guy.
Yeah.
KGB Chad Shad. This is a pretty hot, shad profile glide in the swim bait world, right? So here we see an actual collab between KGB and Spro to bring these to market in a mass-produced bait, right? So, if you are used to the original, it's kind of like a
I don't know, an injection mold, like not an injection, but like a foam,
Yeah.
right? It's like a hard kind of carve. This is going to be more, ABS plastic. It's got a very similar kind of that brush tail to it. So, same look, same vibe. I think there's 6 colors total, some shad colors, there's a trout, there's a perch. I don't know what the glide's going to be. Who knows? Like, we don't know how it's going to move compared to the original, but one of the challenges to like little guys in swim baits is that accessibility is not there, right? So it's almost like you got to plan a year in advance to grab something if you're lucky to get in on a drop, right? So this is kind of a cool collab. It'll be interesting. The market needs more true shad glides that are available, right? So if this moves anywhere close to the way the original moves, this is going to be a hit for them. I'm excited to get them in. I believe we're looking at like a late fall, early winter drop on this. What do you think about this, Griff?
I think it looks cool. I hear a lot about this bait. I've never fished one before, but it looks good.
Yeah.
It feels like it's well made.
What do you think, Jeff? You're looking at it. What are your thoughts?
I mean, a lot of guys like it, so it's cool that you're able to mass produce them, but when they mass produce baits like that, some things change.
100%.
Swim,
right?
action, and it will divide the community like it always does. Same thing with how the original 250s did. Everybody loved the foam ones because you could do a lot with them.
Yep.
And then they went to the ABS plastic, and it kind of divided people in the middle. So it'll probably be the same thing. I'm not like a huge fan of KGB, but it'll probably divide those fans up.
Agreed. So, it's everything that you just said, man. Is it progressing the bait in the industry? Well, it is from the terms of availability, and at least it's a collab, right? At least they didn't just, Spro didn't just come in and take the bait and make, the, I don't know, rock crawler shad or something, right? So, it's going to be interesting to see where it goes. There's still going to be a place for the original, of course, because it's going to have a totally different movement because it's different material. Could this potentially be amazing? Yeah, it could. I mean, we're going to see, right? Time will tell. But, pretty exciting release. So there you go, the KGB collab. All right, well, so scratch all that shit that I just said, Jeff. So we have Kevin. This is actually Mr. KGB.
What's up, guys?
To us. So let me ask you the questions then that we were just kind of speculating, right? So your original bait that everybody loves so much, the Chad Shad.
Yes.
Obviously, this is a totally different material that this is being made out of, right? Well, first off, congrats on the collab. I think this is going to be really cool. This is cool for a small guy, right? Talk to me about the difference of what a customer who knows the original, right? What are they going to get in this, or what should they expect that'll be different or the same, or just give me the rundown.
Cool. So anybody who has the original baits know that they perform very, very well at high speed, low speed, everything, pretty much any retrieve. You can do a lot of tricks with the bait. It's kind of a stunt bait. This thing has all the same features. The one thing it does do exceptionally well is it glides out a little bit further. On a long cast, if I'm using braid to mono and using a shorter leader, on a long cast, I'm getting a 4-foot glide out on that, and that's not exaggerating. You can measure it out, and it's over 4-foot glide outs on it. For a 7-inch bait, that is absolutely unreal. Something else that's a little bit different is because this is ABS and we had to balance it, it's just a different way of balancing things than the resin. If you work it up next to a dock, you can get that bait to nosedive down, and when it levels out very, very quickly, quicker than the resin baits. And where that's key is you can work it up next to docks or structure or limbs. You can pop it down, get it under, and then work it right under those docks, under any kind of structure that's overhanging. For me, that's been huge. I've been drawing out a lot more fish that way because the resin baits, it take a little bit longer to level out, where this does it immediately. Performance-wise, this thing has longer glide outs than the resin baits. I'm almost embarrassed to say that because I've spent so long trying to work on that. But this thing really is excelling in that area. The only thing that's left, really, the resin baits will burn a little bit better than this one. It's not better, it's a different. I guess I'm using the wrong word, it's just different. on the burn on the resin baits that everyone's familiar with, that thump, 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 thump that you feel on your rod tip, this thing has more of a smooth burn, and it has a little bit of a belly flash. That's really the only differences.
Okay.
But the same great performance.
Well, we're excited to get them in. I think it's going to be, I hope it's a big deal for you.
It is.
Yeah.
It's enormous.
Yeah, good. So there you go. From the man himself, there's what you can expect in the new Spro KGB collab, the Chad Shad 180. Late fall, early winter?
Late fall, early winter.
Yeah. All right. So let's keep going, Jeff.
All right, so there's two reasons I could not walk past this lure. First and foremost, it looks like you could fillet it and cook it and eat it. It's that realistic. And this is the new KGB Chad Shad. So not only is it an awesome looking bait, it's got my name in it. So how could it not catch fish? You know what I'm saying? Like, they literally put my name in it, you know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not sure that the whole KGB thing was good with the whole Russia thing we got going on right now, but the KGB Chad Shad is one of the most realistic swim baits that I've seen yet. If you really look at the design and the shape, it's hard to imagine that this thing doesn't absolutely kill it in the water. I am a big fan of these fiber style tails or the natural tails. Man, this thing looks juicy. I can't wait to try out the new KGB Chad Shad. You guys got to look this thing up because it's one of the most, if not the most realistic looking bait that I've seen here at the new product showcase. All right, guys.
Lou here, Fishing University, ICAST 2022, and we are in the Spro booth. Guys, one of the most exciting baits this year at ICAST is a major production model of the KGB Chad Shad. And I have got Mr. KGB here, Mr. Kevin Brightwell. Kevin, tell us a little bit about this bait and how it came to be with Spro.
So, yeah, I'll start with how it came to be. I was down to my last few hundred hooks in the shop and for my handmade resin baits, and I can't sell baits without hooks. I can't even tune them without hooks. So I was scrambling. This is back mid-COVID. I was scrambling to try to find some hooks. I called Kamagatsu and got a hold of Sid. We went through the whole order process, got my order placed, and he wrote down my email, and he goes, "Wait, you're Kevin with KGB?" And I said, "Yeah." And I know who you are. Well, long story short, he asked if I wanted to do a collaboration. Immediately I said, no.
Why would you want to mass produce such a good bait, right?
No, it wasn't that. I had so many painters wanting to paint my baits that I was overwhelmed with it, and I was saying no to everything at that point. I was just busy building baits. A few minutes later, walking around the shop, talking to Sid about fishing and stuff, it clicked what he had just offered, what he had said. And I said, wait, let's go back and talk about that whole collaboration thing. What does that look like? Well, long story short, a year and a half later, we have the KGB Chad Shad 180. It's basically the same as the resin baits. It outperforms in several areas than the resin baits, which is a hard pill to swallow for me because it really does. And I wouldn't be saying that. I wouldn't have my name on there if it didn't. There's still some things that the resin baits do that these don't, but for the most part, these are 100% got my stamp of approval. I've had my hand on every design aspect of this, from the scales. I hand drew the scales that are on these baits, scanned them, perfected them, and sent them. They put that scale pattern on this bait. Just the whole process has been really, really cool. Down to the paint jobs, I painted some samples, sent them back so they could match the paint, hopefully. I got a package a couple weeks later and pulled these out, and I thought they were the same baits I painted. I was actually a little frustrated until I realized, holy crap, they matched them identically. I mean, these are the same paint jobs, so you're getting a KGB Chad Shad from Spro at an affordable price.
So, on one of your resin baits, if you just bought a blank, how much are they costing?
They're $130.
Okay. So, this brand new bait coming from Spro, can get it at just about any major retailer, is costing how much?
They're going to be $59.99. That's what their MSRP is.
These things, they got an amazing action. I've seen them swimming. Big wide wobble can make them do exactly what you want them to do. And check out the KGB Chad Shad 180 from Spro.
So we got the new Spro KGB Chad Shad 180. KGB Swimbaits partner with Spro to alleviate some of our demand. I still get to do what I do, but we're bringing you the Chad Shad 180. 7 inches, 2.4 ounces, super slow sink, about an ROF 3 or 4. Still all the same performance you'd expect from my baits, but actually some extra action and some extra features like swivel hook anchors.
My first time getting a chance to look at them. Luckily, I found you in our busy schedule.
Absolutely.
They look sick, you guys. I'm going to show the rest of them. Peace. ICAST 2022 KGB.
All right, guys, new stuff. The baits that you haven't seen, right here. Chad Shad. And not only do we have a new glide bait, dude, this is the knockoff of the KGB that came out of the Ozarks that everybody's been talking about for the last 2 years. Everybody's been trying to knock it off. Actual man, Kevin Brightwell. He's going to explain it to you. So, dude, I'm really excited to be here with Kevin. He's cool. He helped design this bait with Spro. Yeah, he did design the bait with Spro. He knows all the ins and outs of this. This is the glide bait, guys, that everybody's going to be talking about for the next year or two to come. Primarily price point, right? Right. On top of the fact that it's catching fish better than everything else out there. So, tell us how we got here.
Well, as everyone knows, anybody who knows KGB Swimbaits, I make these out of resin out of a shop. I've got a small shop, started a handful of years ago, and they blew up. We couldn't build enough of them out of my own shop out of resin. So it was kind of ironic back during COVID. Was searching for hooks. Called Kamagatsu, put in my order, and it got down to where I had to give him my email for order confirmation. And he goes, "Wait, I know who you are. You want to do a collaboration?" He didn't say, "Hey, you want to sell us a design," or anything. He said, "Do you want to do a collaboration?" You know what? That sounds really good. And long story short, we decided to partner up and do the Chad Shad, one of my most popular baits. Hopefully, it's going to be one of the most popular baits for Spro as well.
So that's the inside story, and I mean the inside.
Hey guys, so one of the products I'm very excited for is the Chad Shad from Spro. As you know, I'm a swimbait guy, so the fact that this is available for customers that don't necessarily want to spend a lot of money on a swimbait or a glide bait, it's great. With that being said, I'm going to turn it to the actual creator of the bait. I'm going to let him talk to you about the product and how it works.
Hey guys, I'm Kevin with KGB Swimbaits, and we decided to team up with Spro about a year ago to bring the Chad Shad 180 to you guys. The beautiful part about this whole project is that I'm still able to do the resin baits in-house. It's not a sellout, this is a partnership, and it's a great thing because we're able to bring a really good bait to you guys. The performance is right there on par with my handmade stuff. I wouldn't be putting my name on there if it wasn't, and it's at a more affordable price point and going to be available to people. You don't have to wait online for a drop. You don't have to, miss dinner or stay up late or be in the middle of work to catch a drop. You should be able to get these in your local tackle store. Anywhere that carries Spro has the availability to carry these. So online, your local tackle stores, these are going to be widely available to where you can walk in the store and pick them up. You don't have to go through the hassle of catching a drop or something like that. Performance-wise, they're on par. It blew me away during the testing and prototyping phase at how closely these match. My resin baits are 2.44 ounces. These are 2.4. So, I mean, they feel like a resin bait. You can put them side by side in your hands. You're not going to be able to tell the difference. Performance-wise, they do some different things. And on these, we're able to do swivel hook hangers, something that I can't do on the resin baits. I can do it. I don't feel comfortable that it's going to hold up to a giant fish on the resin baits. These, they can do it. So now we've got swivel hook hangers. There's some good performance stuff. It's going to have a removable tail. So if you ever need a tail, we're going to be looking at doing replacement tails. So you're going to have a really good bait with a good long life, and it's going to hopefully catch you guys a lot of fish.